welcome to our episode of IELTS Prep Me podcast, and I'm your host, Vanessa Ellen. Thank you all for joining me again. It's great to have you here. So, what are we doing in today's podcast? Writing, IELTS writing. Yes, we are going to be looking at a essay question, and we're going to try and figure out what do they actually want you to write about. We're going to analyse the question, make sure that you're understanding it correctly, and then we're going to try and generate some ideas together. So, let's get started. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe and like and comment and follow me on Facebook, on TikTok, and on YouTube. Right, today's question. I actually love this question because the majority of students that send me this essay get it wrong. So, why do they get it wrong? Let's have a look. The question is, some people feel the best way to reduce the number of accidents on the road is to further limit the speed of vehicles. Others think that there are better ways to tackle this issue. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. So, let me just say that again. Some people feel the best way to reduce the number of accidents on the road is to further limit the speed of vehicles. Others think that there are better ways to tackle this issue. So, what is the overall topic of this question? Well, it's about how to reduce road accidents, the number of road accidents, how to reduce them. And they're looking for the best way, the best solution. Okay, that is what the question is asking us to talk about. Now, if we look at the first view, it's actually saying that these people think the best way. And when we see the best or the most, what does that actually mean? The best means there is nothing better. It is the number one choice. It is the best. There is nothing that can be better than that. So, view one, these people are saying that there is no better way to reduce the number of accidents on the road than to further limit the speed of vehicles. The other group of people are saying that limiting speed isn't the best way because there are better ways. There are some other better ways to reduce the number of accidents. So we have to pay very, very close attention to words like that in the question where it says the best or better. Pay attention to those words because they are extremely important to your task response. If you don't write about the best or better ways, if you don't show that one is the best or there are better ways, then your task response is going to suffer because you are not actually answering the question correctly. So, that's the first point, making sure that we understand that we're talking about the best or better. The other crucial thing to understand with this question is in the first view. The best way to reduce the number of accidents on the road is to further limit the speed of vehicles. Further limit. What does that mean? I can hear silence. Nobody is screaming the answer at me. Further limit means to reduce the current limit, to make it lower, because I think the vast majority of countries do actually have speed limits. Whether people follow those speed limits is another story, but by law they have these speed limits. So when we say further limit, it means to lower the current speed. So, for example, if the speed on a highway or a motorway is 120 kilometers per hour, this group of people say that the best way to reduce the number of accidents on the road is to make that limit lower. So maybe make it 100 kilometers or 80 kilometers an hour. It's reducing the current limit. That's what further limit means, because we already have speed limits. So this is one of the trickiest parts of this question that I find. My students don't actually write about further limiting. They will write about implementing a speed limit, of having a speed limit is the best way. But that's not the question. The question is reducing the current speeds. Yes, it is. Okay, so now that we understand the question, we know what we're supposed to be talking about. What about our ideas? So many students have a problem with generating ideas. So I'm going to show you how I think. I'm not saying that my way of thinking is the best all the time, but I'm hopefully going to share with you and help you to think in a similar way so that you can generate your ideas in an easier way than you may be doing already. All right, so why would reducing the current speed help? Well, before I answer that question, I'm going to ask myself, what causes accidents? So in relation to speed, why does speed cause accidents? That's what I'm going to ask myself. So one of the reasons would be when a car is driving too fast, the driver doesn't have the chance maybe to brake in time. If there is another car that stops in front, or an animal runs onto the road, or a person, or any obstruction, the person or the driver cannot stop fast enough. So they end up hitting the object. So that is a reason for accidents at speed. What are some other things? Maybe a driver will lose control. If they're driving at speed, they can lose control and drive off the road, hit a tree, hit something else just because they've lost control. When it comes to the second view, others think that there are better ways to tackle this issue. So, okay, I'm going to think, all right, well, if I don't think speed is the best way, what other ways might help? What makes people have accidents apart from speed? Well, poor road maintenance is definitely one reason. So if a car drives and hits a pothole is a hole in the road. So if it hits a pothole, then it may actually run off the road, or it could hit another car. So that's one reason. Maybe another reason is that there aren't enough traffic signs to tell people to stop, maybe to slow down, that there are traffic lights ahead, that there is a sharp bend, that they need to be cautious. Maybe that could be a reason. Also, I think one of the other reasons why there are traffic accidents is because of people using their mobile phones. If they were to ban mobile phones, which they already do, so we can't use that idea because in a lot of countries, it is already illegal to use your phone while you're driving. So I still like the idea, but I'm going to have to think a little bit more deeply about that. So now I've got some ideas about what are the other causes of accidents. Let's see if I can think, are those better? Are they better ways to reduce the number of accidents if we address those issues? So what was the first one I said? I can't remember. The first one I said, was poor road maintenance. So if we think about it, if you are driving at a lower speed, let's say you're driving at 50 miles an hour and you hit a pothole, you can still then have an accident. Just like if you were driving at 100 kilometers an hour, you could still have an accident if you hit a pothole. If I support this view that there are better ways, I could say that road maintenance plays an integral role, because regardless of the speed, a car can have an accident due to poor road maintenance, such as hitting a pothole. So I could argue that. What was the second idea I used? Oh, traffic signs. So again, we could say that regardless of speed, if there aren't enough traffic signs, then accidents can still happen. But now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know whether that's a very strong reason or a better solution. I don't think that one's a better solution. So I'm going to move on to my mobile idea. Now, like I said, most countries already have laws that say you can't use a mobile phone while driving. But people still do it, and there are still accidents. Why are there accidents? Because people get distracted. They're too busy on their phone, they're listening, or they're speaking, or they're scrolling, and they take their eyes off the road and they have an accident. So, a better way to overcome accidents accidents that are caused by mobile use would be maybe the mobile will only switch on if the car is not moving. So once the car starts moving, you cannot use the mobile. It switches itself off, or the car switches it off. But once you stop, then the mobile will turn back on again. So maybe I think that that's a better idea, because that is not related to speed at all. You could be driving slowly and on your phone and be distracted and have an accident, just as you could do if you were driving at speed. So I think for me, now that I've thought about all of those ideas, I think that reducing the speed, so further limiting the speed of vehicles, it's not the best way to reduce the number of accidents. So I'm actually going to support the second view. And I'm going to support the second view by saying that these things, such as better road maintenance and a solution to using mobile phones in the car, those two things are going to be better than limiting speed in order to reduce accidents. Yeah, that's what I would be writing about. So I hope I didn't confuse you, but those were the ideas that were going through my brain. I just wanted to explain how I come up with these ideas. And like I said, hope it hasn't confused you. But I'd be really interested to know if you have other ideas to say why limiting the current speed is the best way, or why it's not, because there are better ways. And what are those better ways? So tell me in the comments what you think. And until then, drive safely if you drive. And I'll see you in the next episode.